God is saying, release it to me. I'm in control. I'm ordering your steps. I'm working behind the scenes. It may not be good, but I'm going to turn it for your good. The scripture says, those who have believed enter into rest. Once you've believed, you don't have to figure everything out. You may not see anything changing. You'll be tempted to worry. Stay at rest. When you're at rest, you're showing God that you trust Him. If you're going to fulfill your destiny, you have to get good at letting things go. Jesus said, offenses will come. He didn't say they might come. If you're a good person, if you're nice, nobody will do you wrong. He said, disappointments will come. Betrayals, things that are not fair will come. How you deal with these offenses, how you handle the hurts will determine whether you move forward and see the new things God has in store, or whether you get stuck, bitter over what didn't work out.
You're carrying dead weight because you got all this dead weight and you're operating over your capacity. It's going to take you that much longer to get there.
If you don't know your starting point, friend, you're never going to get to your end point. And so we're being honest and we're being vulnerable and we're looking within and saying, who am I really? And Tozer would say to you and I, you want to know who you are? Just check the circle of your friends.
You cannot get there with all of the people that you showed up with because your boat is at its capacity. If the boat is at 1,500 and because you're loyal, you have your boat now at 4,000 pounds in capacity. You are now on a boat that has blessings and opportunities, but it's overweight. It's past its capacity.
Because problems are what make us grow. Problems are what sculpt our soul. Problems are what make us become more. If we can realize that life is always happening for us, not to us, game over. All the pain and suffering disappears. Your problem is your gift.
It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours alone. You get to decide. Let me tell you something. You get to decide if I'm gonna be rich, poor, mediocre, happy, sad. You have a decision to make.
As you grow up and get older, you start realizing what actually makes sense for your life and what don't make sense for your life. Because I grew up with my brothers and sisters doesn't mean that we're actually going to walk in the same path. Because I have my friends that I grew up with doesn't mean that we're going to move and walk and have our lives, family, mind state, career choice, the way we think, the way we move, moving in the same direction.
And you should understand this, that it was always going to be your family and your friends that would be the first ones to try and talk you out of your vision and your big idea. That's why you're supposed to live your life, focus on your intentions and do your thing. If I had paid attention to what people thought I was going to do with my life and what my career path would be, I would not be Tyrese Gibson.
Character is self-imposed discipline for the sake of moral convictions. Self-imposed discipline. That means a person of character doesn't need the police. They police themselves. A person of character locks themselves up in the prison of their own convictions and they throw away the key.
Some of y'all are loyal and have this power struggle with this concept called loyalty. You're so loyal, you're watching your career and your life and your surroundings crash and burn because you're being loyal to those friends They're insecure and threatened by you and anything that you do and any move that you make. They are angry and mad and jealous and envious about anything that you have going. You hold on to things that don't make sense for the new season of your life. But because you actually know them, because you're comfortable with them, you hold on to dead weight. People are in your life for a reason. Other people are there for a season. But it's important to recognize when people's seasons are over.
Now, keeping in mind our idea that a courageous person is not someone who never feels fear, but who fears the right thing at the right time in the right way. What really scares people about these situations is the sense that they're going to be helpless, that all their trust was placed in somebody or something, and now they've been let down and they can't do anything. They're helpless.
Take your place, make your mark, and live your life. God didn't bring you in this world to wake up and die one day and just be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant in this world.
At one point in your life, you're going to have to jump. Cannot play it safe your whole life. Ships are safe when they're in port, right? But that ain't what ships is built for. You're built to go far away places. If your job is your port, you're not built for that.
Because many people don't go as far as they should go because they have apprehension that they won't reach their goal. They just say, I'm going to stay down here where I'm at and not try because I might lose. I'm not going to own anything because I might lose it. I'm not going to get married because I might get a divorce. I want it, but I don't want all the stuff that comes with it. That's madness, but that's how it is. And when you do that and you reject God's opportunity, you are left with nothing but the hope of magic. It's like believing God that you're going to get pregnant and not gain weight.
Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. I used to say, what if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. The Englishman says, well, if that's the way it's going to work out, let's give it a go. Right, that's what it's for. Give it a go.
Now here's why you should take the chance. Name me one time God has not pulled you through. And the reason I know I'm telling the truth is because you're sitting in here. Man, you owe yourself something. Go be free. Go see what God got for you. Osteen, that's easy for you to say. You rich. Hell, did you hear me? I lived in a car for 3 years.
Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. A life full of adventure is a life full of many decisions. The ones that turn out to be wrong give you better experience to make better decisions. So don't see how many decisions you can get out of, see how many you can get into. That's where the adventure is.
And if you will allow anyone, any voice on the inside to talk you out of this moment, you will forfeit it and be stuck washing your nets when there's a great drought of fish waiting you if you have the courage to believe.
Doubt's like a plague, and one of the worst is self-doubt. The guy doubts himself, doubts if it'll last that long for him, doubts if he can do that well, doubts if he can accomplish all that. This guy rushes up and he says, I've got 5 good reasons why it won't work. He's so dumb he doesn't know all he needs 1. He's got 5.
This often comes from things that people said to you or about you. They programmed you to see yourself in a limited parameter, and so when you see opportunities beyond how you've been programmed, you reject it because you don't feel like you're deserving of it.
So here's the key. Turn this coin over and become a believer. The understanding of self-worth is the beginning of progress.
I'm a hood dude with no education, The mess around got to the top of the TV world, and I'm telling you, I was homeless and lived in a car, and I ain't got no education. If you destroy the dream, the Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. It never mentions if you don't have an education.
I've been amazed at the people I have met who were highly educated and failing. So education alone is not the solution. I've worked in penal institutions and seen people who were very gifted and incarcerated. In fact, I've seen people with less talent than you doing more than you. You can either become jealous or bitter, or you can begin to challenge yourself to say, what is wrong with my belief systems that's stopping me from going to the next level in this area?
Quit sitting here in your life posturing like it's okay.
Because it's a shame to live long and have no progress. I want to have progress in every area of my life. I've been washing these toilets for 27 years. At least let me be the manager of the toilet washers. Is there anybody in here that wants to move up? You'd be surprised at the people, because they have a belief system that holds on to being ordinary, they will not take the lead. I do not want to stand apart or be different. I am afraid that I will become a target, and you will. But just because they're shooting at you doesn't mean they shot you. But you have to have courage to do that, and you have to be able to see arrows zinging by you, people hating on you, and you have to say like Job, though he slay me, yet shall I trust him. The maybe they'll like me better syndrome keeps you locked into a system that you can't get out of.
Become involved in life. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. Want to create a greater sense of fulfillment? Challenge your fears. Decide that you're going to take some chances.
It's not a good life. Safe is not a good life. Before you die, you should take a chance.
To live is to risk dying. To try is to risk failure. But risk must be taken, because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. And when you no longer fear dying, what else can life threaten you with?
Some people, for fear of having that pressure on them, forfeit the success and stay down rather than to go forward.
Going through life playing it safe is like a breathing corpse. You've got to venture into the unknown. You've got to take some chances.
In order to keep growing, you have to keep going. I would like to submit for your consideration that you are not living until you have been living in a scary place.
We grow when we have to stretch, when we're a little bit nervous, unsure of how it's going to work out. You don't like it, but God uses the scary places to move us into our destiny. We weren't made to stay where we are at the same level. We were made to take new ground. You have been armed with strength for every battle. Do it in spite of what thoughts are telling you. You have to stretch and dream a bigger dream. You'll never develop your wings in the nest. Try new things, develop new muscles. In the scary places, you will discover things you never knew you had. It's uncomfortable, but if you'll stay in faith, you're about to discover your wings.
You're still alive, so therefore God is not done with you.
Discipline is the root of all good qualities, but you have to absolutely apply it to things outside of just waking up early. It's everything. It's working out, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. It's about disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It's about having the discipline to control your ego so your ego doesn't get out of hand and control you.
Character is sacrifice for principles. So character means you are willing to sacrifice friendship to protect your principles. You are willing to lose your best friend in order to keep your principles.
The first challenge is for us to find ourselves. And we find ourselves when we discover our purpose. Find that purpose. It's what makes you solid. It's what makes you secure. It's your mooring. It keeps you just exactly where you need to be so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish.
And so I think that now more than ever, we must begin to look at what are the things that we can do that will enable us to do some things and use some powers that we have, that many of us go through life never ever discovering that we have those things going for us. And part of that, I believe, is knowing what it is your life worth. What is it that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose?
A truly confident person's belief in himself is strong enough so that he's able to believe in others. Distrust in yourself breeds distrust in everyone you meet. A confident person gives you confidence. She creates confidence in others. The strength of her character makes you a stronger character.
Do you have character? Who are you with right now that you shouldn't be with? Think about it.
Society is conspiring all the time in our culture to completely distract you so you never win. To just divert your focus and attention. Look over here. Look at this shiny thing. Worry about what's going on here in this war. And they get these different things on television and our phones and in our lives to just get us distracted so we never get obsessed. We never get laser focused. Ask yourself truthfully, your big goals and dreams, are you really clear on what they are? Because if you don't have that, we can't even get started.
Other people will often see how God shaped you before you do. Because when you're naturally good at something, you think everybody's good at it. They're not. And when you're good at something, you just think it's a normal thing. Well, anybody should be able to do that. Well, they don't. And so other people will actually have to point it out in you.
When the temptations outweigh the benefits, that's all it takes for some very unfortunate things to start happening. In my opinion, and I think there are very few exceptions to this, a bad person is simply somebody who doesn't have enough reasons to be good.
Fear kills hope. Fear put people in the hospital. Fear can aid you, can hold you back from doing something that you know within yourself that you're capable of doing, but it will paralyze you. And I ask you a question, what is the benefit of giving up on yourself, of not stepping out on life and taking life on? What is the benefit for you? What's the plus in that?
And so ask yourself what you're willing to risk. What's the price you're willing to pay? Because what most people do when they're trying to chase their dream or their big outcome, the whole time they're negotiating the price in their head. Should I continue to do it? Is it worth it? I don't know if I can continue anymore. It's getting higher, and that price is failure. And what happens is, if you don't negotiate that price in advance, it's going to steal your focus and energy and become another distraction.
When you find your spiritual gift, all of a sudden it'll give you an energy that when you're in the area of your weaknesses, you get tired, don't you? But when you're in the area of your strengths, you're energized.
Decide to develop the habit right now, the habit of focusing on what's right in your world instead of what's wrong. The habit of focusing on what you do have instead of what you don't have in a situation. Because those habits form the chain of your ultimate character, of who you become and how you end up living your life. We've got to condition ourselves, because if we don't, we'll go back to the automatic state that most people live in today's society.
Wisdom is a unique commodity, if indeed it can even be called a commodity. Unlike the other things people hunger for, wisdom is very hard to visualize. Books aren't wisdom. They're just pieces of paper bound together. Books can help create wisdom in people's mind, but if you look inside their heads, you won't find any wisdom there.
Chẳng thể quên khi cơn mưa đêm lại về. Em đã quên lời thề và ta như đông chìm sâu. Không còn mới em anh nhận màu. Em chỉ cần mơ đâu em chỉ còn là những cơn mưa vô giá. Cho bên mưa em không mơ anh. Anh một đêm mơ chỉ cần bên em không được cần nhớ. Và chỉ có em không muốn nhớ. Và người ta bên nhau như ngã tơ. Muốn nhớ về say em chỉ có mấy em ở đây. Và anh như muốn chết đi nhưng không muốn em mơ mày. Tình yêu làm cho ta đau đầu. Không em như nằm mơ màu. Anh như đeo mong cầu. Và mưa bên em ngủ sầu. Chào các bạn mai mà mơ. Chỉ có bên em nhưng là khó mơ. Mà đã dài em muốn bên ai. Anh không mong gì hơn. Chỉ mong em sẽ ở đây ôm anh thật gần. Anh chỉ mong đôi ta được có nhau. Mà đừng em đâu anh có em. Một đêm bên anh có em. Ta sẽ trao nhau môi hôn thật sâu. Ôm anh.
getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah,
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get on safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, and I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get on safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to.